Turning to business news now with Giles Beckford. And the two big media companies, NZ, ME and Fairfax, are not taking the rejection of their proposed merger lying down, Giles.
No, good evening to you, Sharon. No, it was to be expected that they would not accept the Commerce Commission ruling that their proposed merger was anti-competitive and not in the public interest. So they filed their papers today. They've basically gone hook, line and sinker, thrown the book and a couple of grenades in at the Commerce Commission, saying that on virtually every reason that it put forward, such as the domination that the merged entity would have over certain markets, the role of Facebook and Google, the breadth of competition in the media market in New Zealand, and that plurality of voices that the Commerce Commission put so much emphasis on, the lack of, the loss of diversity that would occur with the merger. It says on every one of those grounds and more, the Commerce Commission was wrong in fact or in law, or both. So they've hired themselves a top QC. And I have to say this is going to become a protracted case. None of these issues are settled easily. It will go to the High Court. There'll be a bit of legal skirmishing to begin with. Some stage, possibly before Christmas, a judge will end up with the case. That judge will have to appoint a specialist advisor, probably an economist, to advise them on some of the finer points, and then we'll get down to trench warfare in a legal sense as to whether the Commerce Commission overstepped the mark and whether in fact the court will decide either to approve the merger, and they can actually just make a decision that would overturn the Commerce Commission decision and approve it by themselves, or send it back to the Commerce Commission to be reheard. Whatever decision comes out, I have to say this is going to go into next year, and the loser will probably go to the Court of Appeal and ask for permission to appeal. So expect that the lawyers will do very well and will be tied up for a good part of the next 6 to 12 months.
And one other court case of note today, Giles.
Yeah, quite a significant one. This relates to the Ross Asset Management. People will remember that this was the investment company that was run here in Wellington. It was a Ponzi scheme, essentially. The money that came in from new investors was used to pay exorbitant and large returns to original investors. So money in, money out, very little was invested. Of course, Mr. Ross went to jail has gone to jail for more than 10 years on this case. The Supreme Court has decided that fictitious profits that were paid to one investor should be returned to the liquidators of the fund, and they can keep their original money, but that the money which was basically other people's investments that had been given to them should go back. Now, the person who has fought this one all the way through to the Supreme Court, so this is a definitive ruling. It sets a clear line in the legal sand on issues such as this, and no doubt will be cited for years to come.
So what's happened on the markets today, Giles?
A pretty ho-hum lacklustre day, Sharon. The top 50 index for shares up a rather meagre 7 points. 7442 is the closing level. The New Zealand dollar 70.2 US cents and 94.4 Australian.
Thank you very much. That's Giles Beckford, our business editor.